Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors, Gregory Home Team of Keller Williams. For all your real estate needs, go to sellwithgregory.com, and All About Your Construction. For both residential and small commercial construction, call All About Your Construction at 541-570-1059. I can feel it. I can feel it. Dancing to the music again. I'm feeling so much better. Oh my goodness. I am just blessed beyond measure. Glad to be here today. Hello, everybody. My name is Russ Hedge. This is Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So glad you're here joining us today, whether you're live or on replay. God, we are just blessed to have you here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. And I have a wonderful guest, somebody who has been on the show many times. This is a part 3 of our discussion. Emily and I, who laughs at me constantly because I'm always adding parts on. But we had so much to talk about. But she also has been guest host. Thank you, Emily, for filling in when I didn't feel well last week. And I've just been blessed to have friends like her that have really filled in and just been a blessing and helped me out. So appreciate that. Just want to remind you, who am I? Well, let me tell you. My name is Russ Hedge, and I am an inspiration specialist. But what can I do for you? Marketing coaching. I can help you with your marketing, with all of your sales and intercommunication in your company. I can also help you if you need a dynamic speaker for an event. I'm actually speaking at an event tomorrow. Super excited about that. Back rolling and going to be speaking live at an event tomorrow, even though we're all masked up here in Oregon again. That's not going to stop me. Still speaking, still going to be great. And so excited about that. Also, if you want help with live streaming or online with your company, I can help you out with that. This is what we do every week. Live streaming this podcast Mondays and Thursdays, Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. It's 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Also, I have a Wednesday show. We're just on a short break, picking it up again in the middle of September, called The Experience, Live with Russ and Scott. Have that again coming up this Wednesday, or this September, every Wednesday. And so that's great. And occasionally we have other shows. Russ Reels kind of rotates around. And also Experience Plus from time to time. So basically live streaming all the time. So if you need help with that, glad to help you with that. Please touch base with me. And I think really that's enough about me, other than just to remind you that I'm the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. Get those hand motions down. Here we go. Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. It's just a great, encouraging book. I was blessed to be able to write that with the encouragement of my friend D. Scott Smith. And such a great thing, So anyway, just wanted to make sure that everybody is on today. I'm just noticing that we may have a problem with LinkedIn this morning. I'm not sure why, but it says we might. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so glad to have everybody here. We're just going to jump right in and bring Emily in. Enough yapping from me. There she is.
Hi, Russ.
Hey, Emily, how's it going?
You're feeling better.
Yes, I am so glad. I'm so glad. It's interesting. I feel kind of like my friend Russ Johns, who the other day I was watching, and he was on LinkedIn, and it wasn't broadcasting, and or he was actually live, and it wasn't broadcasting. And I'm just curious. While we're here, I'm going to take a quick peek to see if it's broadcasting because it said that it wasn't. So that would
Tim
be
says,
interesting.
Tim says hi through Facebook.
That's good. Hi, Tim. Yes. Yeah, interesting. It is actually not broadcasting, so I have no idea why. Very interesting. LinkedIn must be having an issue this morning. And so, yeah, interesting. Okay, well, enough of that. We'll just keep moving. This is live and this is what we do, right?
Yeah, this is what we do.
So, hey, by the way, Tim, good to see you and spread the word. Looks like people are going to have to jump onto YouTube or Facebook this morning. And yeah, that's all good. Anyway, so Emily, thank you. You are such a good friend. I appreciate you. And another great way to start my Monday, have a great discussion. You and I have been just rolling with living the life you love, living the life you choose, giving people that positive, even in the midst of challenges. So you and I were just talking about some challenges. There you go. And it happens, right?
Yeah.
It happens. So we, in the midst of all those, you still get to choose, right? You still get to choose what you do and how you perceive it, what your perception of life is. So when those things happen, we talked about taking a deep breath. What are things that you go to? First, let's just start off. Things you go to that help kind of bring it down and just, realize that life is going to go on, right?
Yeah, right. And I'll just share what happened. I switched to a new podcast editor, and I think they're new, so it's okay. But what happened is I always send my intro and outro. I record it a little bit later, and they played the intro and the space, and then the outro, and then the interview, and then the outro again. And so the recording's messed up. And so I caught that for this week. And then I noticed that happened the past few weeks. And I didn't QA it because I've listened to the episode 1,000,001 times. So I didn't want to have to, as I was recording it and editing it. So I felt I feel like this is just, I was so frustrated. But then, that's like the mental fitness that I coach on. My hand was on the hot stove. I'm frustrated, but none of that's going to change the situation, right? No. So how do I get my hand off that hot stove, not be stressed, realize that, hey, this is a learning experience. It's embarrassing to me because a couple of the episodes are published and, I know people have listened to it. No one told me about it, but it can be fixed and we can learn. And this is how we learn from mistakes and we move on. So I have a call with the editor after this and we're going to fix it and move on and just take a deep breath because none of that, being frustrated isn't going to make the situation any better. It is what it is. So accept it and take a deep breath and figure out how to move forward from here.
Yeah, I think that we all learned back when the pandemic started that there's things out of our control, whether they're people or situations, and we need to learn to step back, like you said, and make the best of it and learn from it. Right. It's interesting because tomorrow I am doing a keynote speech for a group here in actually in Albany, just south of me. And I'm talking about a new perspective. It's a real estate association. And I'm talking about a new perspective, overcoming challenges and building on pandemic positive lessons. And the whole idea of that is what you just talked about is when struggles and challenges and problems happen, what do we do with that? What lessons do we learn? It helps, it builds character in us. It builds purpose. It shows us when our purpose really matters in life and the things that we're doing really make a difference because life may be crumbling all around us, but that doesn't mean we have to change, right?
Right.
We might have to adapt to the situations and make changes in that way, but not personally. We are who we are and what we do. And that's important. And you're a wonderful person. You're going to get through it and life will go on.
We'll get through it. And, the way I look at it too is the editor's new. So they're learning and they have an attitude of how do we fix it and move on. And so we're going to be okay. But we want to talk about, like, how do you create space for life in addition to creating a life that you love living? And I wanted to, and then also how to listen to that still small voice. So I wanted to share something that I just did. It's in a coaching program that I'm in. And I do this with my coaching program too, although I don't spend 3 days. We spent 3 days. We know what our dream is. We know what a life we love living would look like a year from now. Okay. It's not going to be the same life I'm living now. Where do I want to be a year from now? Because want to grow. I want to expand. I want to learn more. I want to be more. I want to be a better person a year from now. So what is my dream? And we took 3 days. It was called strategic immersion, where we looked at where we were going to be a year from now. And we even got into that energy. We imagined ourselves a year from now. And we broke into breakout sessions, and we said, it's August of 2022. Hi guys, I haven't seen you in a year, but this is where I am. I'm experiencing this. It's already happened. Because once it's a thought in our head, it's out there in the universe. It just hasn't come in to this 3D world yet. Right. And so then we did some strategic planning of, okay, what steps am I going to take today, tomorrow, the rest of the week, the rest of the months, and how am I going to stay on track so that I do achieve my goal? Because a lot of times we think of this big dream, and then a years from now, we're living the same life, and we don't want to be that way. So how do we stay on track? How do we create that space? And one of the things I said is I want to get to the point where, I'm retired, but I'm still coaching and everything, where I really only work coaching and all that stuff Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I have Mondays and Fridays off. So I can say that, but what actions am I going to take to make sure I get there? Because I'm not quite there yet. And so that's something that we did. And that's like creating it in what we want in this 3D world. And then what we talked about is we're spiritual beings in a human body having a human experience. And so how do we connect to that infinite, to God, to that still small voice that has even more ideas and ways to make our dream come true than we can think of just ourselves in our own head?
Wow, that is very powerful, and that is so true, because we are, me, I'm a man of faith, and I feel like God directs my life. And right now, I'll be honest with you, I'll be authentic here. I am struggling a little bit with some of the things going on coming out of COVID, and really trying to build my business and do all that I do, because I'm the kind of guy that wants to help people and do things. And I have to always remember it's also a business. And unfortunately, I don't have a retirement like you from the military on top of that. So I need to keep driving forward and, doing what I need to do to create income as well, which is not a bad thing. That's the one thing I think that a lot of times I have to get over that negative voice in my head that is telling me money is bad.
Right.
It's not about the money. That's not why I do it. But you have to make money to go forward. And so that's one thing. It's that balance you overcome with, okay, it's okay to want to achieve and to make a good career and to do well. That's okay. If that is not as long as money is not your intent, your driving force. I just talked to you, Emily, because I want to make money from you. That is not why I do what I do. And so I have to be able to overcome that, though, and balance that out. I have to be able to say, okay, this is why I'm doing it. This my purpose and my drive and everything that I'm about is never changed. It's unwavering. But how I go about things and what I do, like you said, how I achieve things so that I can get to the point where as I get older, I'm a young 57 now, but as I get older and I really want to cut back time as well, but I have to be able to make that income to be able to do that. My number one thing is to spend time with my family, be able to do those things. And so, so anyway, those are things where, you have those battling internal voices. And I think that what you said right off the bat that I think is so important, create space to listen, create space to listen to that still small voice, the positive voice. Right. And then also remember to keep feeding yourself positive and information as well, because otherwise you let the negative voices overcome you.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you stay positive? Part of it is hanging out with people, that are like-minded, that people that can help you, that you can, admit when you're struggling, and you can, what bottom line is, you've got this dream, and your energy needs to be at the frequency and the level of that dream. You can't, if you're down here most of the time, like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to find clients, da, 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 but your dream's up here of, living the life that you love, then you've got to get to that level. And one of the things, I invest quite a bit of money in coaching for myself. And one of my coaches, I love what she did. She had us connect to the soul of our business, because I'm working on creating a business. It's not where I want it to be yet. So what has not been created here on earth is in my idea up in the universe. And so when I am quiet, and, some people call it pray, some people call it meditate, but just make that time to connect with the infinite. I ask the soul of my business, what do you need from me today? What action should I take? And you get some different ideas. And what she actually had us do is had other people in the coaching program, somebody else told me what my soul was telling of the business was telling her, so it's like Emily Harman Coaching and Consulting. I'm going to connect with that soul of that business. What is it telling me to tell Emily? And the ideas were amazing. There are so many more ideas, so many more possibilities than what we can think in our head.
That is where, too, not only that which is of ultimate importance, but also working with people, collaborating, having a good coach, having people that can feed your soul, that can feed you with good information. So I have a good friend who coaches me that I'm talking with this morning, talk with every Monday. I have a couple different coaches that I work with. And It's important to have those voices speaking into your life, because they, especially if they're on the same wavelength as you are. So it's important to me with people that are feeding my soul and my mind, to have, like-minded, Christ-like individuals that I talk with, which is just important for me. And so it's important to have people, not just that are feeding you what you want to hear, but people that have the same kind of mindset, that have the same kind of ideas as far as where you want to go. Then they're able to drive you, help you, work with you. And that's one thing I love about all of this, is being able to work with people like you, Emily, and other people that are like-minded, that are really visionary and want to do awesome things for people and help people, because that is what I'm all about.
Yeah. And your coach can also call you out on your limiting beliefs.
Right.
We don't even recognize our own limiting beliefs sometimes. Once I said something like, I really think that it's really women that are looking to create a life they love living and are looking to do that inner work. Men aren't willing to do that. And she called me out on it. Like, how do you know? You're making a broad assumption. And yeah, there are men in the onward movement. There are some men that are willing to do that. So that was like a generalization that was a limiting belief.
Right.
That I'm not going to have male clients. And actually, I have a call with one tomorrow. Someone scheduled a call, read the chapter that I wrote in that new book coming out that just came out last week, called Step into the Spotlight. He read the chapter, scheduled a meeting with me. I'm like, oh, that was a limiting belief, but I probably wouldn't have noticed that myself.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I know, so this is what we all have. We all have blind spots. Mm-hmm. And something I've learned, right? That's why it's so easy for me to see what you need to do. And it's so easy for you to see what I need to do, but it's hard for you to see what you need to do. And it's hard for me to see what I need to do. And those blind spots in our lives, and the limiting beliefs are just, everybody has them. If you are out there watching and you think, oh, I'm all good, I got it together, I don't have any limiting beliefs, well, you're lying to yourself, because we all have them.
That's a limiting belief. You don't have a limiting belief.
That's it. Well, and one of my biggest ones revolves around money. And I was talking to one of my coaches about that. And again, it's not that money is the most important thing, but what happens is you limit yourself based on what you feel you're worth, what you feel you could be doing or should be doing. Sometimes it's not that you don't feel you can't do something that would make a lot of money. You just don't think, well, maybe I shouldn't because then I'm only thinking about money and those kind of things. Well, no, if it's that's up to you. You get to live the life you choose, right? And
Right.
so you get to choose, is that what you're all about? And that is definitely not what I'm all about. That's definitely not what you're all about.
Yeah.
And so then it depends where we go from there.
So think what you could do if you had money, more money, think what you could do with it,
Right.
about how much more good you could bring to the world. Like I've thought about, when I think about bringing in money for myself, I've had to deal with a lot of that because, I never had to come up with my worth. The government always told me what you're worth. I worked for the federal government, and then now I'm, working with money, sales, that's sleazy, so I've had to change a lot of my limiting beliefs about money,
Right.
a lot. And what I would say is the more, when you bring in money, so it doesn't motivate me to make money for me. I don't want anything else. I'm fine. So then that doesn't help me with setting up a business. It's more like a hobby, right? So then my coach got me thinking, well, what good could you do in your community? I'm like, well, I would love to help women or men who have had to leave an abusive relationship and have children and are trying to get back on their feet again. Well, that's what I can do with the money that I bring in. It doesn't mean that I have to go buy a lavish yacht or something.
Right. Well,
So,
that is so true. And, that's interesting you bring that up. My beautiful wife has always had a dream that we would be able to have a place to give to people when they needed it, that we'd be able to do certain things to give to others. And, we really want to we're giving people. I can say that unashamedly. We like to give. That doesn't mean I don't have my selfish streak and I don't have my problems, because I do. But I mean, we like to give. And so all my driving forces around my business and money are all about giving and helping. I want to be able to set up my family, and including my adult children, in a position where they have a strong, firm, debt-free foundation for their life. That's a huge driving force for me. A huge driving force to be able to just walk into my church and be able to say, hey, you're going to build this building project. Here's the money for it, all of it. And you just do it, Those are driving forces in my life. And I can't do that right now, but I want to be able to do those kind of things. And, it's just something that I try to focus on. That's one thing that my coach really helped me with. And that was, what is the purpose for what you want to do? What is the purpose for what you want to do? Why do you really want to get these things done? And that really helps me a lot.
Yeah. Alan, he sounds great. He's doing great. He looks great.
Yeah, I'm, another super great friend. So Alan also filled in on one of my podcasts. What a great guy. I cannot, the best gift and the best value that I have in life after God is my family and my friends. And you really know who your friends are when they are reaching out to you saying, hey, let me do this for you. Let me help you. I'll take care of this for you when you're not feeling well. And that means a lot that they're willing to take your time, Emily, Alan's time, Scott's time to do those kind of things. And that just meant so much to me. So, yeah. And then again, we get back to putting good people in your life, like I've been able to do, that help drive me forward to be able to overcome my limiting beliefs, small little cough, overcome my limiting beliefs, to be able to remain positive. Because even though I'm a super positive, uplifting guy, we all need other people in our life that fuel that, because otherwise you're constantly getting drained, giving it out to everybody, which is a good thing, but you get drained by only giving and not by getting a little bit of that back.
Yeah, definitely. I spent most of my life not listening to that still small voice. I guess it came when I was exercising a lot. But I never really sat and spent quiet time with just me. That was really uncomfortable for me. So since I've retired, I've learned how to meditate. And I believe that, my addiction to being busy is just as harmful, or as harmful, just like, I was focused on my son, who is an alcoholic. He's almost 5 years sober now, and he's doing great. But at the time I was focused on helping him. And I was just busy. And that was my addiction, but I didn't know it. And I was focused on helping him, helping my kids, get them counseling. I didn't help myself. Right. And so that's one way. You've got to be intentional about creating that space.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is so true. Intentionality is so important. And I always bring it back to Dave Ramsey in my life. It's just a good example. And that is because, and I think I wrote a little bit, in my book, there's a little bit about this too. And that is with my finances, I learned I had to be intentional because I was just a fly by the seat of my pants. As long as I had enough money, all was good. And then when halfway through the month went and my wife and I are both going, where did all the money go? Yeah. That's how I got into debt. And so by intentionality, making improvements, changing my life drastically, getting myself to a point where I can be today, to where I don't have all these debts and credit cards floating around out there, was all because of intentional purpose when it came to finances. And that is really true in any area of your life. Being very intentional, being very thoughtful about what you're doing and everything. So,
and you got to stick to it, because we can have this intention. You know how it is. You set a New Year's resolution, right? And a few days later or months later, you're kind of back on track. So really takes some discipline and attention and really having a strong burning desire for what you're going for your dreams to keep you on track, and all the other things we talked about today.
Yeah. Well, let me just say one really strong, powerful message that you just gave there is that you need to not focus on New Year's resolutions or one-time shots that now at this point in my life, I'm going to do this. It is a daily thing. So everybody listening, it's a daily choice. It's a daily decision. It's being intentional daily with what you do with your life, because right now is the first day of the rest of your life. Right. I mean, that may sound cliche, but it's true. Right now is the first day of the rest of your life. So what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with today, pushing you forward into a better tomorrow, right? Don't wait for a better tomorrow. What are you going to do today that moves you forward to a better tomorrow? And that's so important. So, well, we could talk and talk and talk forever, but again, we're out of time. So we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to schedule a part 4. There we go. So anyway, thank you so much, Emily. Appreciate you. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you again.
I just go to my website, Emily Harman, HARMAN.com.
There you go. There you go. And I was thinking this morning, oh, there it is. Yeah, I'll scroll it for a minute. I had it all ready to go and I haven't scrolled it. There's her website and my website. So thank you. Thank you for being on today. As always, spreading positivity, and everybody can learn one important lesson from you today, and that is you intentionally live the life you love by doing it, by being intentional, by taking action, by really looking at what you're all about. And I think that you are just a magnificent example of that. Even in the midst of struggles and challenges, you're remaining positive, moving forward, learning from what's going on. And thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you, Russ.
All right. Hang tight here. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I see that a few of you jumped over. I appreciate that because something went wrong with LinkedIn today. I'm not sure what. They said they had a little issue. So, oh, well, that's live streaming for you. But we are live here today. It'll also be in audio format. So all your favorite audio podcast formats, you can share it with your friends as well when they drive around. They can listen on Spotify or Amazon or iTunes or any of those as well. And I convert that right after we get off the air here. So thanks so much again, everybody, for joining us. And until we see you again every Monday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, have a great day and a great life. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.